I want to share with you guys things that you do not hear and they won't tell you in the investing space. Stick around to the end because the second last message I share is one that is very rarely ever spoken about. And the very last message is something I think could change the entire game. So let's get right into this. All right. I want to share this with you guys. All right. So this is what they won't tell you. Okay. We're going to start off right off the bat here is that you will be wrong. And it's so interesting because it depends on when you get into the market. If you get into the market when times are great, you'll really think that you are an all-star. I did. And you think that you're different than anybody else when it comes to investing. You're that special person and you'll never be wrong. And even when the market is down, you think you won't be wrong because things are so cheap and they're just bound to only go up. And so it's funny, right? We always say this time is different, but it's not, right? There may be circumstances around what that market that you're in this case, I always say the crypto market, something may be different, right? There's Bitcoin has more adoption today. Big companies are involved, big entities are involved, governments are involved. But the sentiment and the way investors behave, that does not change. And so you can kind of, while things may look different today, in actuality, the behavior and the way the market responds is not. So you got to keep that in mind. All right. Now, when I say you will be wrong, take some comfort in the fact that 70% of venture capital is wrong. So when I say venture capital, I mean people with big money going into projects very early before the public even sees them. Okay. You would think that they are the smartest bunch when it comes to investing, that they know best, but they don't. 70% of them are wrong. And so that's why they pick a massive amount of projects to invest in so that a few of them will pop and more than make up for the losses and all the other ones that they have. Okay, so they are even wrong. But I think one of the biggest things here to note is that outcomes don't define you. So if you do poorly in some aspect of your investing, it doesn't mean you're a failure. While you can be wrong, it doesn't mean you're a failure at it. Okay. But the flip side is also true, that if you hit it out of the park and you're getting massive gains, that also does not mean that you are the best thing since sliced bread. Right? You got to stay in the middle. You can't get too high and you can't get too low, because at some point that can flip on you in both directions. And so when you ride the waves of the highest of highs and the lowest of lows, it's not sustainable and it really affects you in a certain way. So just understand that you will be wrong. And if you stay in the middle of those emotions, you can course correct and just continue to progress as you go on. So next one here is no one is going to save you. Now I know this sounds doomsday-ish, okay? But that's not the point of this. The point is that it's your money. You have to be accountable for your money, your decisions. And that's not a bad thing. That's a great thing, is that you have the power to make decisions to affect your life. When I say it's a job for others, what do I mean? I mean, if you go to a financial advisor or you go to somebody else to manage your money, they're probably taking a cut. They're making their living, for the most part, off of your money. It's not their money. So whatever job that you are in now, it was, if I look at it from the outside in, I would say this is a very important job that every single day you would never treat it like a job, but you probably do, because after a while, it's just another job. So anyone who's managing your money, well, you lay a very high amount of importance on that particular amount of money. They don't. You may be one of many clients. And so it's a job for them. So again, this goes back to it's your money. Nobody's going to treat it like your money. Okay. Friends and family. This is a big one. Okay. So what I mean by no one's going to save you, a lot of times what happens is when we're in a place of indecision or things aren't going our way, we want to reach out to people and possibly even to people who have invested in some form. Not even so much that they've invested in the exact same industry. Right? So if you're a crypto investor, you may reach out to someone in the family who's been a stock investor or a real estate investor. And so it's just natural. You want to share what you think, and you kind of like a shoulder to cry on. But their advice is going to be probably, if not guaranteed, the worst advice for you. Not many are seasoned investors, period, in whatever industry they are. Okay, but if they are, and they're not in your particular industry, especially when it comes to crypto, the first thing they're probably going to say is cut bait and come into my industry. Cutting bait is when you lose, when you actually solidify the losses in your portfolio. Now, that doesn't mean you can't ever get out of a position, or you shouldn't. I mean, that comes down to the research that you have. But if you've done the research, you're in these positions, but the market is down, that's not a reason to get out of that position, because you've done the work. And flipping to something else that you're not familiar with, or that somebody else thinks is best for you, look, a little bit of it is that they want to protect you, so they think they're giving you the best advice. But a lot of it is that they just think what they're in is the best thing. And so you kind of take what you have to take what they say with a grain of salt. And here what I say is up to you. And this is CANI. All right. This is what from Tony Robbins, I got this from. And it's constant and never ending improvement. Again, no one's going to come save you from it. So from your own decisions, your own outcomes. And so you have to constantly learn. You have to tweak. Anything that goes wrong, it's not a failure. It's just a learning opportunity. So you have to consistently find better resources. Maybe it's a better network. Maybe it's better. It's a better way for you to actually take in the information. What information are you taking? How are you taking it in? And then ultimately leads to what decisions are you making? What's your framework for the decisions that you make? This is all a part of the process, but it is a process, and it's something that you just have to consistently tweak over time. Okay, so nobody's going to come save you. Don't wait for that advisor or that friend or family to help you out. Nobody's going to treat your money like your money. So being accountable is a great thing. Okay. Next one here is there's no quick fix. And what I mean by fix, I mean to your current lifestyle, the lifestyle that you want, the portfolio that you want, whatever you have in mind in terms of your goal, there's no quick fix for it. And so when you have a quick fix mindset, it really plays into the decisions that you make. And this goes back to making or having that decision framework. And so when you do short-term things, it actually causes long-term consequences. But when you have a long-term mindset, a long-term horizon for your investments, you're able to play things out a lot differently. So when you think in terms of decades, not months, things completely change. All right. There's not this panic involved, and there's more of patience involved. Right. And so with that patience comes all this learning process, learning from others, learning from yourself, and just constantly learning. But you have that time horizon, and you're not in a hurry to get somewhere. When I say battle tested, the scars, right now, the market that we're in, whether you're in stocks or whether you're in crypto, doesn't matter what you're in, everything's taking a beating, especially this crypto market, right? We're down 70, 80, 90% in positions. These are scars. These are things to be proud of when, and I do say when, not if, the market flips, okay? When it course corrects back the other way. This is where we show we're battle tested. We're not fair weather fans. We're not in here just when things are great. We're in it for the long haul, and we're here for the ups and the downs, because the downs is when generational wealth is made. And so these scars that we're getting now, they're going to be things that we're going to talk about and enjoy sharing as we go forward. And patience, I put here in capital letters, is something that I have always been terrible at, is patience. But it's what is going to save your portfolio. It's what's going to create, not even just save your portfolio, it's what's going to make all the difference in the world going forward. When you have patience, when you can take a step back and play things out a little bit differently in your mind so that you're not always rushing to do stuff, you will see things that others don't, because they're so deep into, I need to do this now, I need to do this now, in the next year, in the next 6 months. And there is that saying, right? There's that saying that, we overestimate what we can accomplish in a year, but underestimate what we can accomplish in 10 years. And that there's no better way to see that play out than in investing. So keep that in mind. So I wanted to share this as well, as that help yourself first. And this is very rarely spoken about just in general, not even just investing in general, is helping yourself first. We all, or 99% of us, want to do something because we want to help someone else or multiple people, right? I'm going to do this so that I can help others. But here's what we don't do, is we don't help ourselves first. And once you are in a position that is well beyond where you are today, you have more options to help multiple people. So you always hear people say, look, I wish I could donate more, or I wish I could do this, but if only I had more money. Here's the thing, when you have that money, you have the options to help how you want, when you want, and how often and how much, right? So the more money you make for yourself, the more you help yourself, the more you're able to help other people. So your actions need to be more than just what you talk about. I always used to be the person who would read a lot of stuff, chat about it, and not actually do it. Well, that has completely changed. I talk less about what I'm doing because I want my actions to speak for what I'm doing. I will still highlight what I'm doing, but only after I'm actually in the process of executing or when I finished it. Because I want people, look, at the end of the day, if you don't tell people, they'll never know, right? So I want to show people by my actions what is possible, but I will talk about it so that we have something to actually highlight, okay? So it's not like just do your actions but never speak about it, but the vast majority of us are all talk. So once you change that and you flip the script and you become more action-based, people are more willing to listen to your chatter as well. And I put these two things in here: flight crash protocol and get yourself through the door first. Flight crash protocol, when you're on a plane and they go through the protocol that, look, if this flight goes down, this plane goes down, here's the protocol, right? Oxygen mask will come from the top. What do they say? Even if you're with children, they say put your mask on first and then put their mask on. Why do they say that? If you don't put the mask on yourself, you will be useless. You cannot help anybody else. It's not possible. You don't have the oxygen. You're done. So how are you going to help anyone around you? Same thing here when it comes to investing. You got to create a situation where you help yourself first, create the wealth that you want, the success, whatever that means to you, the way you want, and then you can go ahead and start helping other people. That was a big lesson for me to learn along this path. And then get yourself through the door first. You ever try getting through a door with 2 or 3 people? It doesn't work, right? Can't do it. But that's what we all try and do. We're like, hey, look, I've learned this thing, and as I'm still learning, I want to pull you guys with me, right? That's kind of how we all think, without fully learning what we're doing first. But nobody gets done that way. Nobody benefits that way. You go through the door first, and then you reach back and you pull the people you want forward. That's how it should work. Help yourself first, and then go and help other people. So here's one. Could have picked a better picture, but here's one. And this is from Kobe. And this is what I meant about something that's rarely talked about. So this will be the second last point I make here. Is that over diversification is useless. Now there is one person who does talk about this, and very well known in the investing space, and that is Warren Buffett, who actually says that over diversification is actually a way to hide the fact that you don't know what you're doing. So interesting that one of the most respected investors, one of the most accomplished investors, would go on to say that. But I like the way Kobe Bryant put this, and this actually came from an interview from a player named Iman Shumpert. And it's this whole notion about putting all of your eggs into one basket. We always hear this cliche saying that don't put all of your eggs into one basket. Pick a bunch of things. If something drops off, you're still saved with the rest. And here's what Kobe said. This is what his response to this was: no, put all of your eggs into one basket and then go out and make more eggs. I mean, it sounds so simple, right? But the thought process is astounding. I love it. Whatever portfolio you have right now should continue to grow as time goes on. So whatever eggs you have today, do the research, pick a few things, one, two, depending on the size of your portfolio, one, two, or three things, and invest. But invest with conviction. Invest because you've done the work. Don't invest in 50 things because, hey, maybe I get hurt by one or two of them and it won't matter. Like, you're also not going to make gains that way. So if you're spread thin, even if something does a 200%, 300% return, you don't have enough invested for you to even change your life. There's no dent. Maybe you make $100, maybe you make $10. So invest your portfolio by doing the work, but then also go out and make more eggs, right? Create more wealth outside of the investment portfolio so that you can put into the portfolio, and then the portfolio continues to grow. Okay, so put all of your eggs into one basket or 2 or 3 baskets, a small amount of baskets, and then work on generating more income so you can then put into even more baskets or the same ones going forward. Okay, but I really want to stress this. And you look at Warren Buffett, vast majority of his wealth came from Coca-Cola. He didn't put his wealth into 500 things hoping that one would hit off, and then even if it did, it wouldn't even do much for him. So Warren Buffett and Kobe Bryant, he probably never thought they would share similarities, but they do. And that is that over-diversification is useless. It's not going to change your life. So be smart, do your research, and bear down on a few versus the many. And then my final point I want to make to you guys, and I think this really changes the game, and it changed the game for me, is that it's the one, right? Is that you can be the one who changes it all. Now I have an image here of a family history or a family tree, right? And all of us have a certain, a certain level of living, right? And it usually stems from generations. You can be the one that changes everything for your entire lineage. This isn't to put added weight on you. This is to put hope. This is to put real positive energy. Is the fact that you can do this, so that your great grandkids are talking about how you changed the entire trajectory of wealth in your bloodline. That's something that appeals to me. Okay, is that you can be that person. But let's say you don't even want to do that. Your core, immediate friends and family. How about them? And then trickles further down amongst them, because you teach them things that you've learned and have showed them that work. So you can be that one person to change the game for every single person, including yourself. To me, that's such a powerful message. And I think it's one that we don't talk often about. We always say, invest in this, spread yourself out. In the next 30, 40 years, you can live for yourself. Whatever you invest in can help you. Yeah, that does not appeal to me. I want to invest. I want to learn and create principles and strategies where I'm not investing for 40 years. I'm looking to knock it out of the park in the next 10 years or so. Okay? But not just for me, so that I can help other people once I do that. Those around me, my own lineage, and then carry that generational wealth forward. That is the mindset that I have. I think once that is in place, it changes all of the decision making, because the mental framework is completely different. So I wanted to share that with you guys. If you haven't seen this video here, it's about 3 things that will make you successful when it comes to crypto investing. Check it out. I'll see you guys in the next video.